Whether you call it a crock pot or a slow cooker, having some amazing recipes that you can start in the morning and return home to a fully cooked meal is always a plus in my book. Hey friends, my name's Susan and welcome to my home. Today I've got 4 amazing, quick and easy crock pot recipes for you. So good, your family will love them. So let me go ahead and get my ponytail up and let's get to making some amazing crock pot recipes. Come on, you know you want to try them. And it's early in the morning and let's get to making some crock pot marry me chicken so we'll have something good to eat when we get home. I've got some chicken broth, I've got some minced garlic, some heavy whipping cream, some paprika, Italian seasoning, all-purpose flour. Those are sun-dried tomatoes. I've got some chicken breast and some butter I'm going to put in the crock pot. We'll save the heavy cream for a little bit later, but let's go ahead and get everything into our little crock pot. And in this recipe, you're supposed to actually brown the chicken. I'm not going to do that. My chicken is frozen. I'm not going to brown it. I'm going to just put it in. I am going to go ahead and put in the chicken broth in the bottom of the crock pot and the flour. And I'm going to go ahead and whisk that around until it is well combined. Then I'm going to add the garlic in, the paprika and the Italian seasoning, some salt and pepper, and I'm going to go ahead and give this a really good mix. Now it calls for 6 boneless chicken breasts. I'm probably going to do whatever will fit in this crock pot, which probably is only going to be about 3. And when I come home from work, this is what I came home to. I'm going to go ahead and get the meat masher and get this all shredded up because we're going to put this on some noodles and we're going to call it amazing. And this is my favorite thing to do whenever it's like this, and that is just get one of these meat mashers and spin it around and around and the chicken just falls apart. I'm going to go ahead and do this a little bit and then we're going to have some good juice and stuff. I do have to add a little bit of heavy cream to this. I about forgot about it, so let me go ahead and get that. And to finish it off, I'm going to add the heavy whipping cream to this. That'll lighten it up quite a bit, but it'll also give it lots of good creamy flavor. And I've got all the chicken completely pulled. So now let's get some noodles, or let's put it on the plate. And here you go, marry me chicken on some penne pasta with a little bit of Fiesta blend cheese on it. And it looks and tastes amazing. And that is what's for supper tonight. And we're going to start some slow cooker chicken parmesan meatballs because we're going to make chicken parmesan meatball subs is what we're going to make for supper tonight. So let me tell you what's in it. I'm only doing half the recipe. It calls for 2 pounds and you know it's just Danny and I, so I'm just doing a pound. Panko breadcrumbs. I've got some minced onion, an egg, some minced garlic. I've got some oregano and some Italian seasoning. I've got some grated Parmesan, some Rayo's, marinara, and of course the ground chicken that's going to go in this. And that's all you need other than a little salt and pepper. So let's go ahead and get this mixed in the bowl and get this into the crock pot so it can start cooking. Now let's go ahead and get these meatballs put together. I'm going to go ahead and get the 1 egg put into the bowl, and I'm going to go ahead and get it whisk up really good. All right, now we're going to get the rest of the ingredients going in. I'm going to get the panko, the minced garlic, the seasoning, the oregano and the Italian seasoning, the onion is going in, and the Parmesan cheese is going in. And I'm going to go ahead and get that mixed up real good before I put the chicken in. Now, that's ready for the chicken. And I'm basically just going to make me some meatballs. And I've got all of the chicken mixed together real well. I'm going to go ahead and just make some meatballs. It doesn't say what size, but they need to go in a sandwich, so they don't need to be humongous. Well, they may cook down just a little bit. I'm just going to make them about that size. Right about there. Nice big ones. And they should be good. Now let's get the chicken into the crock pot. I'm going to go ahead and pour half of the marinara sauce into the bottom. And I'm going to place each of the chicken meatballs into the marinara sauce. Now we're going to pour the rest of the marinara sauce on top. Make sure that all of the chicken is well coated. Now we've got everything in. I'm going to close the lid. I'm going to turn this on low for 6 to 8 hours. And then we'll come back and we'll see what kind of good chicken meatballs we've got. That is chicken parmesan meatballs we've got. And whenever I come home, this is what I found. Look at that. I can stir them all around, and the chicken meatballs are separated. They're not all together. They're fully cooked. Look at this. Look at that. Now that is going to make a great chicken parmesan meatball sandwich. So let's get this on a bun so we can get some eating going on. And this is a sub roll. I went ahead and put a little bit of mayonnaise on it because y'all know us. And some of the marinara sauce, and I'm going to go ahead and add in 3 of these chicken meatballs. Now let's add the mozzarella cheese on it. And here you go, a chicken parmesan meatball slider, sub, sandwich, whatever you want to call it. And it's what's for supper tonight. And I'm going to make a taco bake in the crock pot. I make taco bakes in the oven all the time. You can make a taco bake in the crock pot. It just won't have the crispy shell like it does whenever you bake it in the oven. But if you want to put something in the crock pot, turn it on low and let it cook for four hours or so, then that's the way to go. So let me go ahead and show you kind of what I've got. I've got my shells, which I do have the burrito size. You can use the smaller ones. It fits a little better in the crock pot, but I like the edges to kind of get a little bit crispier. I've got some Mexican cheese. I had some paste salsa still left over, so I'm going to go ahead and use it along with the can of rotel. I've got some onions, some hamburger meat that I've already cooked up and drained, some taco sauce, green and red. So let's go ahead and get this layered up in the crock pot so we can get it going and start cooking. First thing that you want to do in the crock pot is actually lay down something that will be the base layer. And I'm going to put some of this paste sauce, in here. I'm going to put a good little bit of it in here. That'll be our base. The next thing is just to spread it out a little bit. That way it covers the whole area. And this is so your tortilla shells are not going to stick to the bottom of the crock pot, which I doubt they would anyway, but it just gives it an extra layer of flavor. Then you're going to be adding in your first tortilla shell, which is right here, and laying it flat. Then you put in a little bit of the rotel, which is what I have. I'm going to spread it all about. And I'm going to do about a third of it probably right here. Some hamburger meat, which I'm going to halfen it up. Put half on this layer and half on the next. Some onions that I cut up. Because you know we love some onions. If you don't like onions, don't put them in here. But if you do, hey. And you know, I only use Vidalia. Those are the only kind I use. I do want a little bit of taco sauce to go in here. Not a whole lot, but a little bit. And And then I do put a little bit of red and green on one layer, not both on one. If you want a lot of spice, you can put it on both. But I'm just going to put it on one layer, this layer. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put some cheese on this layer. I'm going to put a good amount of cheese because this is what holds the taco bake together. And then you're going to put the next shell on and do the whole process all over again. And I'll bring you back when I come to the top layer. Now on the top level, I've gone ahead and put the top sheet on. I'm going to go ahead and lay out the rest of the rotel, which is, I've tried to third it up, third. Get on ahead and get this spread out. And now, I'm going to put some cheese on. I'm going to use the rest of this cheese on here. Spread it out a little bit. Now, I'm going to turn this on low and let this cook for about 4 hours, and then we'll come back and we'll get ready to eat it. And after 4 hours in the crock pot on low, this is what it looks like. It is not going to be crispy like if you put it in the oven, but the cheese does melt and it is wonderfully tasty. So let me go ahead and get this plated up. And here we go. Taco bake in the crock pot and a Caesar salad. And it's what's for supper tonight. And we're going to make a big run of beef stew. Now I got some beef top round, which I use a lot for beef stew, but I also have some beef shoulder steak that I'm going to go ahead and cut up and put in also. That way it'll make a lot of meat and a couple different varieties in the meat texture whenever it's in there. But I'm going to go ahead and go get these cut up. And for 2 pounds of meat, you're going to have 2 cans of cream of mushroom soup, 4 beef bouillons, and 1 Lipton onion soup mix. So I'm going to go ahead and get all this cut up so we can get it in the crock pot and get this started. Got everything prepared. I'm going to go ahead and add in the meat that I have put in. I'm going to try to get it all on one level. There we go. Yes, I'm using my hands, but I will wash them. The next thing is the Lipton onion soup mix. I'm going to go ahead and add that to the meat. Get it all distributed around all the meat. And the 2 cans of cream of chicken soup are going in. And to that, I'm going to go ahead and add in about 2 cans of water. I basically just filled up the cans and then I'm going to go ahead and put them in. What I want is for the water to be right above the meat. And we've got quite a bit in there, but it's almost covered. I've got to add a little bit more because you do have to have it over every bit of the meat. Make sure that all the meat is submerged. I'm going to go ahead and mix this around a little bit and then push it back down under the water. Yep, that looks good. Everything is pretty much submerged. Now I'm going to put in 4 of the beef bouillon cubes, and I usually just put them on all 4 sides. That way they will flavor up every little bit of this. And we're ready to put the top on. You can either do this on high for 4 to 5 hours, on low for 6 to 8 hours. But I'm going to go ahead and put it on, and we'll come back and see what we've got to eat for supper. And after a long day of cooking, this is what I come home to. Look at this. Look at that beef stew. I've got beef stew, plus I've got that steak that's been in here. So I've got all different kind of sizes. You could add a slurry to this or get some of this out and put a slurry in and thicken it up. I don't think we're going to do that tonight. We're just going to serve it on some mashed potatoes and call it good. So let's get this plated up. Let's get some mashed potatoes on the plate. Make a big mound. And then I'm going to put some of the beef stew on the mound. Look at that. Ooh, that looks good. I'm going to get some of that juice, gravy, whatever you want to call it. It's not quite gravy because it isn't thick enough to be gravy. But it is good enough to definitely layer it on up. And here we go. Beef stew with some mashed potatoes. And it's what's for supper tonight. Weren't those crock pot recipes amazing? Like I said, crock pot, slow cooker, they're all good. And if you haven't already, press that little button down below and subscribe so you don't miss any of the upcoming good food and fun. Give me a thumbs up, especially if you like this video. And if you like this video, you'll love this video right here. So until next time, see you then.